Hello, friends. In today's episode, we will share the predicament of a woman who has found herself in an unhappy marriage and discovered love in unexpected places. Join us as our main character takes you through her story. Hello. I don't want to disclose my name. I live in Berlin. I've found myself entangled in a forbidden love. I can't make a healthy decision with regard to this relationship. I was already married for 2 years when I met him. It was not a love marriage. There was a growing gap between my husband and me. I was very active, but he was static. I always wanted to live my life as if it was my last day. But my husband was in the habit of postponing everything as if he was going to live forever. We didn't really have any other problems. He loved me very much, but we were very different. I couldn't love him. He really desired us to have a child, but I used contraceptives secretly because I was not sure if I wanted kids. Being with him was a torture. I was trying my best to love him, but it didn't happen. He kept telling me that he couldn't live without me, that if something happened to me, he wouldn't be able to live. I didn't know what to do about this. Whenever I wanted to break up with him, he assured me how much he loved me. I was having very hard time. I did my best to love him. I always tried to see his good sides, but one cannot command the heart. It was during this period that I met the love of my life. The first time I saw him, I knew he was the love of my life and that I belonged to him. We were working at the same company. I had just started working in that office and he was in a senior executive position. Since the company was big and we were working in different departments, I was able to carry on with this life for a while. We fell in love with each other. It was the best relationship I had in my life. He loved me deeply. Every time he saw me, his eyes would shine. Even people around him were surprised by how an arrogant and serious person like him could be so madly in love. Everything was going well. I remember our first time together. It was in a hotel room. We wanted to be together and we were looking for a suitable place. He invited me to his house, but I refused. I told him I wanted this to happen in a more private area. He was intrigued by this idea. We made an appointment to meet at the hotel at 6 p.m. I was still married, but I was on the verge of divorce. This time I decided I would talk to my husband, whatever the outcome might be. I would leave him. Seemed he understood everything. He neither called me nor asked me where I was. Before going to the hotel, I stopped by in a beauty salon. I wore a red dress with a deep cleavage, black stockings, and black stiletto. My hair was wavy. I looked fantastic, and I was wearing crimson lipstick. The smell of my perfume seemed to fill the whole elevator of the hotel. I went up to the room, knocked on the door, and the man I loved opened the door with roses in his hand. I was so excited, my heart started racing. It was like a dream. I was madly in love, like in the movies. He was very handsome. Sometimes I couldn't believe that a man like him would be so much in love with me. He was perfect. He kept telling me that I was special for him. Over time, I believed in his love, and I was constantly thinking about the time we spent together. During our first night, I kissed him continuously. I didn't blink an eye until the morning and watched him sleep. Do you know what it is like to watch a person sleep? I loved him so deeply that the thought of living without him seemed inconceivable. It's strange that the very things that my husband used to tell me are the same things that I found myself telling to him in my heart. But shortly he found out that I was married and he walked away from me at the speed of light, saying that he couldn't believe how I had lied to him and how I had put him in such a situation. I told him many times that I was about to divorce my husband and that my husband had refused to divorce me many times. However, he was not convinced. It has been 2 months since we broke up and we still work at the same company. He doesn't even look at me. I feel a deep sadness as I lost a man whom I can genuinely say I loved in this lifetime, all because of my marriage. Now, some of you might wonder why I engaged in such a relationship while being married. However, as I mentioned from the start, I was never truly invested in this marriage anyway. I told this to my husband on numerous occasions, but he consistently reassured me that he didn't want to part ways. He believed our situation was temporary and that it could improve if we had children. I don't know if I'm the guilty one here or if I should seek someone to blame. What I do know is that I'm currently in a lot of pain. Despite my continuous calls and messages, he doesn't acknowledge me. The realization that a man who loves me deeply won't even look at my face is incredibly hurtful, to the point where I'm contemplating leaving this country. What do you think I should do?